This poker player dreams of leaving behind his job as a civil servant to pursue playing cards full-time. The good news? He's already making over 40 euros an hour over a pretty big sample. The bad news, he just doesn't have quite enough confidence to make this leap. This is Guillaume. I had him send me 30 plus hands, and I found 3 big holes in his game that I believe if he fixed them, his win rate would not only most likely shoot up, but more importantly, he'd finally have the confidence in himself to pursue his dream. So today, I'm going to walk through a plethora of hands and break down his biggest issues. Then, I'm going to have him play hands with a shot clock to see if he can incorporate these fixes in real time. Can we finally give him the confidence he needs to walk away from his job and make poker his full-time career? If you've ever wondered if you're good enough to take a shot, watch how we figure out if he is. Let's jump in. G, tell us about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from?
Hi Marc, nice to meet you. I'm Guillaume, I'm from France, Aix-en-Provence. I'm a civil servant in French civil aviation, traffic control, and I play poker as a hobby. And soon I hope it's gonna be more than a hobby, and I'm gonna travel all around the world.
So you want to make poker your full-time job?
Yes, I want poker to be a part of my project, and I have many more projects in my head.
Let me ask you, where are you at right now with your poker results, and where do you need them to get to so you can make poker a bigger part of your life?
Right now with my poker result, I'm around 40-50 euros an hour, but I like poker to be my full-time job and increase that win rate first to close to $100, playing all around the world in different places.
Cool. Let me ask you, what is it that's so special about poker for you? Why do you want to make this a bigger part of your life?
Poker makes me much more happy than my job and gives me the opportunity to travel and make contact with a lot of person, and I find it very interesting.
What do you think the biggest thing is stopping you from doing this right now?
I've always lacked a bit of confidence and also always be a little bit scared money and scared in big pots. So if this coaching session could help me improve that, I think that it could give me the confidence to eventually make the step and leave the job and live the dream.
Let's do this. First, we're going to go through these hands quickly. Big disclaimer for our friendly friends at YouTube. All of these hands are for educational purposes only. No real gambling is taking place. All of these hands are simulated and created in a hand trainer, or they are hands that I made up in my head in the shower and put into our software. This is all for educational purposes only. So in this hand, we're playing 5-10. And you're gonna ISO over a limp, and you're gonna get called by the big blind. Limper's gonna fold, and you see bet small on the flop here, which is just fine. And now on the turn, you decide to double barrel. Talk to me about your decision on this particular turn.
Once they call on the flop, they are pretty capped to one pair, a draw, sometimes some ace high, king high. So on the turn, because it's a pairing board on the flop with the top card paired, I decide to keep betting small because sometimes they can trap a few 10x. So by betting small, I get them to raise their 10x, and I keep dragging a weak ranged, weak pairs and draws to the river that I feel confident bluffing.
Okay, let me ask you. This guy has a hand like pocket 4s or 7-6. What's he gonna do on this turn when an overcard comes?
He's gonna feel kind of squeamish, I guess.
Yeah. Do we want him to feel squeamish with those hands, or do we want him to call?
We want him to call, so maybe I should size down?
Yeah, so I think this is like, I think you have the right idea. I think your thought process is good here. I think just like the size is a little bit in between. I think if you go like 60, 70, something like that, you get all of those hands to call, and then you're gonna have a much more profitable river bluff. And what ends up happening on this river is you go for a half pot-ish size, and he does end up calling. He has ace jack, which called with a gut shot on the turn. I think overall, the way you play the hand is pretty decent. I like the flop. I like the river. The turn size, I would encourage you to size down just a little. I see kind of an in-between size here. That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, this one we ISO over a limp. We have a trappy fish as described in the big blind, and you elect to check back. Talk to me about why you elected to check back here.
I clearly think it's a mistake. When I was in game, I thought, oh, he can trap me with a few hands or check raise me with some bluff sometime, and I wouldn't like that when we are so shallow, but that wasn't good reasoning. There's no reason not to c-bet half pot or him to raise his strong stuff, call the weak stuff, so no reason to check back actually.
Right, and if this guy does check raise and he's a trappy player, what does that mean when he check raises?
Most of the time he's got a good hand, so I just just have to see if I have the odds to continue to call or if it's too big just to fold right now.
Well, hold on here. What is this guy going to do? He's a trappy player. What's he going to do when he has trip jacks if we see bet?
He's gonna call most of the time.
He's going to call.
Yes.
So what does that mean when he check raises?
That means he's more bluffing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So what can we do with a king high flush draw here if he check raises?
Yeah, indeed. We just call and continue.
Or
also re-raise.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a jack, right?
Yep.
The thing is, like, against these trappy guys, I think like c-betting more is going to be good because they're just not going to be check raising you off your equity with enough good hands.
Yep.
So against players who don't check raise enough, we can c-bet more instead of less, right?
Yes.
So we're playing 2-5 and a player limps on the button. We're going to ISO in the big blind. First, just real quickly, I think this size is probably too small. I think we could probably just go like 40, 45, something like that here when the button limps. But we're going to get called in both spots. And here on this flop, you would like to check it over to a player who you describe as an overstabber, which I like. And now the small blind is going to fold. Talk to me about this decision just to check call on the flop.
Yeah, I think when I have the information, he's overstabbing with a high equity draw. I can actually put a check raise here to put pressure on his range because he's going to have a lot of 8x, 4x, gut shot, air, and we're already going to have a lot of fold equity. And when he really has a hand like a 10x or a diamond draw, we have very good odds or we're dominating his flush draws. So I should have put a check raise here.
Good. Yeah, I like check raise as well. I would say against a normal player when they stab three ways, like just check calling is good. But against this guy, like an overstabber, I like check raising. We become a pair here on the turn, and now he goes 40 again. Talk to me about this decision just to call.
Yeah, this is when I really don't like my decision. In game, I decided to call because I was like, oh, I grabbed some showdown value with my 6 now, but I didn't believe it. And when he bets 40 again, I think he's actually telling me that the strength of his hand, like here, if he has 8x or pocket 7 or even a 4, that's the best he can have. So I think here I just can put a big raise to make him fold his almost entire range, like 200, and maybe the only hands that can call me are 9-8, 7-8 pair plus draw, and these hands are very likely to fold on a brick river if I put him all in.
Very good. I have no notes. That was excellent. Yeah, I think just going for the check raise here is really good. And now the river goes check, and we lose here. What did he have? He had an 8 in his hand, I think.
He had a king 8, yes.
All right, guys, if you're enjoying this, if you want to work directly with us, where it is interactive, where we are breaking down your weaknesses in real time, where we are drilling you with time pressure, just like this, well, we have a small group coaching program. It is 5 days, and although it is highly intense, it's only 5 days because it's built for people who are obsessed with poker like I am, who will maybe, unlike me, have a life outside the game. So it's 5 days. It's highly interactive, just like what we're doing with G in this video. You're going to get a chance to work with our coaches in small groups. We're going to help you build that thought process in real time. We're going to break down your biggest leaks. We're going to help you rebuild some parts of your game that aren't as strong. If any of this sounds interesting to you at all, that's what we work on in our 5-day small group coaching program. It is called Basecamp. We would love to welcome you in. Check it out. Okay, so we're going to open in the cutoff here, playing 10-20, and the big blind is going to call. I believe this game was 5-10-20, but Hold'em Manager can't do straddle, so we're saying it's 10-20. On this flop, we're going to c-bet, which I like. The big blind's going to call, and now on this turn, we're going to double barrel small on a 4 turn, which I like. So far, so good. And now we hit the flush on the river. Talk to me about this size.
The thing is, like, if they have a 3, they are likely to raise a small size, I think. So if we bet small, like 140, 150, 3 is likely to raise. But also they can have bigger flushes that are gonna raise, that beats us. And yeah, I'm actually I don't know what to do here. It's yeah.
Right. Let me help you. Let's say they have a hand like ace-5 or a hand like king-5 here. What size would you bet if you were bluffing here to get that hand to fold? Ace-5 or king-5?
If I wanted to value this hand, I'd go maybe, it's very squeamish, like 150. So if I want to bluff it, like 250 is enough, I guess.
Good. What about a hand like pocket 9s or something like that?
Pocket 9 will be a little bit less squeamish. If I wanted to value it, maybe I'd like around 250, 300. So to bluff it in the 450 area. So I'm actually bluffing pocket 9 here with this size.
Yeah. So can you see kind of the problem here is I'm not sure, right? I may push back a little. Like when the flush comes in on the river, I'm not sure a 3 is raising at a high frequency, even if we go small. But I think the problem with this size is we're essentially, like, we're choosing an in-between size where we get snapped off by better flushes, and we get pocket 9s, pocket 8s, pocket 7s, 5x to fold, which is the majority of the range we're targeting here in this spot. So I think this size is in between. If you told me on this river, hey, I want to maximize against 3x, I think we could probably go a little bit bigger. And if you told me, hey, I'm targeting pocket 9s, 5x, pocket 7s, I think we got to go much smaller.
Yes.
So I think this size just doesn't really accomplish much. We've seen this a couple times. I think it's just too in the middle. You need to decide, I'm going to target the pairs or I'm going to target the 3x. And I think this size does neither one really well. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does completely.
Cool. In between. We've seen this a couple times, so we're going to work on this. Okay, 1020 again. We are going to ISO with ace queen. A whale is going to call on the button and the limper is going to call as well. And you would like to come out and bet here, which I like c-betting, but talk to me about why you elected to come out and bet rather than check.
I'm not sure the whale is gonna stab at a frequency high enough. I'm pretty sure the whale is gonna stab, but is it gonna be more than 50%? Yes, it's still likely. So yeah, we still wanna check.
Well, I mean, maybe. I could go either way here. I mean, I would say like maybe the whale overstabs. I don't know this particular player. You know him better than I do. Whales in general do tend to overstab, but like even whales, like they'll slow down a little when it's multi-way maybe. So like I don't mind coming out and betting. I just don't particularly love the size. The reason why I don't love the size, when you have a whale behind you, what do whales like to do the most?
They like to call, to keep going.
Yeah.
They don't like to
fold. So if this guy has it, no. So like, why not just go like 200, 250, something like that here?
Yep, I completely agree.
If he's going to make calling mistakes, just go big. If you think he's going to make more stabbing mistakes, then check and pile in money that way. But I think this is just a little bit too small. On this turn, you elected to check. Talk to me about this.
I must admit that in this hand, I was money scared actually, because it was very late. I was tired, and when I'm tired, I tend to be much more money scared. So I didn't want it to face any annoying card on the river after having bet huge on the turn. That's the reason. But actually, I think I should have, because his ranges is going to be composed of some queen x, weak pairs, 10x, draws, and there's a lot of inelastic hands in there, and a lot of combo draws also. So the queen x and the combo draws and the draws are going to be very inelastic. So here I should actually bet big against the whale and ask how much would I bet to get her to fold ace 10, 10-9 or 2 diamonds, and this would be very big. Like I don't even know if for 8 or 900 he would fold, so I can go at least 800 on this turn.
Good. That's really good thinking. I think the key reframe here is like, first of all, you're honest about it, which I think is awesome, because like being able to address the problem, like that's how you're gonna be able to do it. Talking about like how you were a little bit scared money because the game is playing really big, you're super deep here. And I think like just reframing this as, the way I like to think about it is, overall, over a long run, say over 1 million something hands, everybody gets the same spots, right? Everybody gets value hands, everybody gets coolered, everybody gets a chance to cooler somebody else. The people who make the most money, what would they do in this spot on the turn? And that's the question I like to ask myself when I think like, ooh, I don't know if this is going to work out this time, but is this going to work out the next 100 times? Where do you make the most money the next 100 times? What decision is that on this turn? And I think you just walk through the most profit. I really like overbetting on this turn, like you said. We open with Queen Jack, 2-5. Tight Timmy calls us in the small blind, a tight player you described him as. We're going to c-bet. He calls, good. We go to a turn, and talk to me about this sizing.
When he goes on the flop, he's got some overpairs. He decided not to raise some one pair hand, some a6. I decide to bet aside on the turn that I believe will keep these pairs calling once and to bluff them on the river. So here I wanted to target a 6, pocket 5, pocket 7, pocket 3, pocket deuce. But when I'm saying it, actually pocket deuce is probably not gonna call that big size. So if I wanna do that, maybe I should size down to 45, 50-ish.
Boom. Perfect. Yeah. I think once again, the size is just too in between. And I think what this size does is you go big enough where he may just trap again if he does have a 4, if he's got a full house. But you also go big enough where like pocket deuces or pocket 3s may not call here to this size. Pocket 5s may even fold now to this size, right? So I think if we size down 35, 40, 45, something like that in that ballpark, Marc. I think we get all of that stuff to call, and we get fours to fast play much more. Can we see how this in-between sizing may be hurting us a little bit on turns?
Yeah, probably because I guess I'm maybe not ranging them well enough and then not knowing for sure what I target, and consequently I don't pick the right size for the right range.
Queen 9 here, we're going to open in the cutoff, and a fish is going to call us in the small blind. We c-bet, he is going to call, and now here on this turn, talk to me about the size.
I have the feeling that's the same thing when I decide to bet this size. What do I target? I want to target a weak range, but actually the weak range I want to target, which will be some 6s, some pocket 5, pocket 7, pocket 8 are going to be squeamish and fold when they may have called on a 55, 50. So yeah, I should have sized down the size.
Yeah, I mean, I think sizing down is quite reasonable. Because like it's a disaster for us if a hand like Jack 10 folds. Because if Jack 10 folds, we don't have anything to bluff on the river.
Indeed.
Right? So I think sizing down here is good. I think your other option is sizing up and just going very large on the turn and folding everything that is not King X or 2-pair plus, and then just maybe giving up on the river, right? Like those are the two options. I think, again, the in-between size, like you saw it, you're seeing it here. This in-between size doesn't really allow us to do either of those two plans really well.
Yes, makes sense.
Because if he calls here, do we even think he has a hand like Jack 9 suited?
Yeah, not likely.
Makes the river bluff really scary.
In this very spot, I remember he showed me he fold ace queen on this size, which, as you said, is a disaster because we're very happy to get this hand to call once and get it to fold by the river.
Yeah, you bet 40 here, ace queen is snapping you.
Yeah.
And then you get $40 more from ace queen, and unless the river is specifically an ace or a 10, or I guess a queen, because you'd probably just check back, but you get to win this hand just, I don't know, 85% of the time, and you get the $40 on the turn. Okay, we're playing 2-5. We see a limper and an ISO. We 3-bet, which is good. The ISO player is going to call. We're going to c-bet small, good. And we get to the turn, and on this turn, we are going to check it back, which I like. So far, so good. This hand is excellent so far. Now, on this river, he checks it over to you, and we elect to go 140. What is this player's range when he check calls the flop and then checks on the river?
He doesn't have better than the king because he would have taken the lead at some moment. So he's capped to some jack X and pocket pairs. And since we checked back the turn, they will be more inelastic on the river because they will believe us less. And it's the end of the hand if they decide to call. So when a hand like pocket 8 may have started to be squeamish on the turn, it's now getting ready to pay a more expensive price. So here, if I wanted to bluff a hand like pocket 8, I'd go, a little bit overbet maybe. So I think I can value it easily 200, 250.
Yeah, good. Okay, if this guy flipped over a hand like ace jack, what size are you going to bluff that hand?
Whoa, a lot. I think like I'd go 450 maybe to bluff it, or to be sure like 500, so I can value it 400 easy if he shows me he has it.
Yeah, and I think there's two options on this river. There's one, like I want to get called by 8s, 9s, 10s. I want to get called by everything. I think 200 is pretty good. We could go bigger than 140 for sure. And the other option is I want to target ace jack, queen jack, jack 10 suited. And like I think you can go with an overbet, like you said, for those. And this size, again, this is the size we see all regs use, right? I'm gonna go 2/3 pot, 2/3 pot, 2/3 pot. This size does not make us the most amount of money, I don't think.
Makes sense.
This is a creative hand. This is a very creative hand. So you're gonna 3-bet with JJ Reddix and c-bet on the flop, and you're going to check back on the turn. This guy comes out, he bets small on the river, and you just lay down the hammer. What made you decide to turn jacks into a bluff here?
His range when I continuation bet the flop is pocket pairs and a6 because there's basically no draw. So here he has no queen, king, nothing except that. So when the turn goes check check and he decides to bet on the river, he doesn't have a pair. So it's always a6, and I always lose against a6. Now the size is important because if he had made two pair like ace6 or pocket 6s, I guess he would have been more greedy and bet more, like at least 120, 130. So when he bets 85, I guess the best ace he can have is like ace 10 or ace jack. And if I wanted to value this ace jack hand, I'd raise to maybe close to 300. So that's why I decided to bluff it for that size.
This is really good. I love to see this, like just pat, like it doesn't matter what we have. We just know we're not good here. We know this guy is one pair ace X. Like we can just fold like ace 10 suited here all the time by raising big. Like, this is really, really good. I love this. I want to see more of this. This will turn you into a monster if you can find these spots much more often.
That's what I'm looking for. Let's awaken the
monster in me.
So, G, what I noticed here was a couple of big things. Number one, using these kind of in-between sizes, both for value and for bluffs, and only being able to pounce some of the time when we see weakness. So these are a couple of the things I want to work on. Number one, getting rid of the in-between sizes, making a commitment to either a small size or a big size. And number two, being able to pounce every time we see this weakness. And then if there's one other thing, it's being able to pull the trigger, especially for value, for thin value in these big pots when the money gets big. If I was to pick three things, those are the three things I want to work on. So that's what we're going to run through in a bunch of hands. Are you on board? Anything you'd push back on, or you agree? Like, let me know your thoughts.
No, I completely agree, and let's go fix these mistakes.
All right, so we're playing 5-10. We've got 8-9 of clubs in the big blind here, and there's an open and a call. And so quickly walk me through what you're going to do pre-flop here.
So pre-flop, I'm gonna just raise good best and better hands, and defend playable hands quite tight because it's multi-way and a 3.5 size, and 9-8 club is a decent hand to defend. I can go down to 6-5 suited here, so I'm gonna call.
Good. So we are going to go to a flop, and I assume you're just checking it over to the pre-flop raiser here. Won't spend much time on that. Just so you know, if we do make a decision that I disagree with, it's going to default you to the right decision so we can get back on track, but we'll talk about that when that happens. So this flop checks all the way through, and now we pick up a flush draw here on the turn. Walk me through what you're thinking.
So once they check, they are capped to very weak pairs or air. Now there's an overcard on the turn. They are uncapped, but their best hand can be 2 pairs, king 7, king deuce, or just a king. I think I'm gonna check again because they are gonna telegraph hand strengths with their size, and they are still gonna overstab.
That was beautiful, beautiful. Really clean thought process there. So the low jack goes 50 into 110, and the cutoff folds. Walk me through what you're thinking.
When the board is so drawy with 2 flush draws and some straight draws, and he goes only 50, less than a half pot, I believe his hand is not that strong. If he had 2 pairs, I'd expect him to go bigger. So here, I think with our combo draw, we can raise to target weak king X, and we have enough depth to get them to raise by the river. So here, I think we can go for a big check raise of 300 to target these hands. They will be very
good,
inelastic.
And a low jack is going to, oh, the suspense. He is going to call, and now we hit the nuts on the river. Walk me through what you're thinking.
Once they call, they have king X or missed draws. We're just gonna target king X. We wanna target a hand like king jack, king 9. So how much would I bet to get king 9 to fold here? I think I'd have to go quite expensive, close to pot size bet, like 600. So I think I can, even more. So I think I can value it 800. Yeah, but I was a little bit slow for the calibration.
That was good. That was good. You got there, though. And what I really like here is that you did not jam. You did not jam. You ranged him very well. And look at that. He calls you with ace king. I really like that. Was really good to me. I like how you locked in on a size on that river. You considered his range, and you're like, okay, I'm going to target king X. That's exactly what I'm going to do. How'd you feel in that hand? There's a lot of pressure with only 30 seconds.
Yes, I feel very excited by the challenge, the stimulation of with limited time finding the best decision possible. It's very challenging. I love it.
That was good. That was really good. Let's do another. I think you won the max in that one. Now you got aces, so I assume we're 3-betting here. So
yes, and
go ahead and 3-bet.
Yeah, we're very deep, so I'm gonna 3-bet a big size, 150. I may even consider going bigger if I know the player is very sticky.
Good.
Once they call, the range is pocket pairs, good aces, good seated hands mainly. On this board, I will have a full check strategy and let them stab and overstab and telegraph their hand strengths to me. And depending on that, I'll decide of my action. I was starting to consider deviating by betting myself to target a king X, but I think it's gonna bet anyway.
Yeah, so I don't mind checking. You see you got 4 out of 5 by checking here. I think it's just fine. I think this is a spot, though, where I may deviate and just bet. Because, first of all, which boards do they not overstab nearly as much? What type of boards?
Static boards.
Yeah, static dry. It's kind of like this board. And does pocket aces feel good going for a check raise this deep on this board?
Yes, I see what you mean. Like we wouldn't like to just face sets or 2 pairs when you check raise and 3 barrel, right?
Yeah, because are they going to call us even with a hand like king queen or king jack if we check raise on this board?
Yeah, indeed. Because it's static, no draw, it shows a lot of strength and makes it hard for them to find bluff in our range.
Yeah, and so like aces to me doesn't feel strong enough to check raise.
Yep.
But it feels plenty strong just to go bet, 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 right? And so like this would be a situation I deviate. Like I'm not going to dock you too much. Obviously you got 4 out of 5 for checking here, but like that's why I think just coming out and betting is the best play here. So that's what's going to end up happening in this hand. We just come out and bet, and we're going to continue after betting on the flop. Talk to me about your decision now on this turn.
Once they call the range is King X pocket pairs mainly. So I think we want to keep betting, but now targeting a King X and take the maximum to a king. So here, how much would we bet to get a king to fold? We would need to bet a lot to get queen jack, queen 10 to fold. So I think we can take the bet 500 option.
Good. And let's go to this river now. Let's see what she does first. She is going to call.
I was going to say...
We see an ace on the river.
A6 river would be very interesting because now King X is going to be very squeamish. How much would we bet now to get a king to fold? Not a lot, like 700-800, I think. It's already going to fold maybe. I don't know. But we'll have to... I'm hesitating between 400 and 1000 depending. I would pick 400 because it's very squeamish now.
Good, very good thinking in this hand. I want to point out a couple things you did really well here. Number one, your turn size, right? When we're super deep, the pot is getting big. We could be beat sometimes here. This is one of the spots where, like when we talked about that ace queen hand earlier where you checked on the turn, this hand, not only did you not check, but you went for the big boy size on the turn, going for some super thin value in a 3-bet pot. And then the second thing I thought you did well, recognizing on this river that King X is just going to fold way too much. I think if I could add one more piece to your river thought process, I don't like to get too far into the blockers, weeds, but having the ace of clubs on this river, I think is really important because it eliminates them having hands like ace 9 of clubs or ace king of clubs, right? Where they could make 2 pair on this river. And so now we're really just only targeting King X. They're never going to get to this river. I'm not going to say never, but they're almost never going to get to this river with an ace. So I really like your thought process in this hand. Love the turn size. Love the river size. Really, really good. You got an almost perfect score so far. All right, we got Jack 10 suited on the button. We're going to open. Look how deep we are.
So this is a single raise spot against a fish, 14 SPR on a static dry board. Here, I have a overbetting or check strategy with this hand. I will decide to check back, let the fish give us information on the turn about his hand strength.
Perfect. Here you go.
Once he checks on the turn, he has very few A6. He has weak pairs or air. I want to start putting money now in the pot and drag a medium weak range to the river. I feel comfortable bluffing here. If I wanted to make a 7x or a 9x fold, I think I'd go around 50, 60.
Wait.
I was too slow.
Yeah, so let's talk about this turn because I don't think you made a logic-based mistake here. I talk about sometimes there's like logic-based mistakes and there's a calibration mistake. So logic mistake would be like, I think 7x would fold if I bet $35 and then we bet $40 on this turn when we have value trying to target 7. That's a logic-based mistake, right? But a calibration mistake, which I think we might have made here, was like, oh, he doesn't have really any ace-x in his range. And I would push back on that. I think we could say with pretty high certainty, oh, they don't have a lot of 2-pair in sets. They don't have a lot of ace queen and ace jack and ace 10. But why might they have quite a few hands like ace deuce or ace 3 or ace 6 on this turn when they check again?
Because it's weak A6 and they won't necessarily stab it all the time.
Also, let's say they have a hand like queen 9 or something like that, and they check to you on the turn. What's their plan when they check with a hand like queen 9?
Yeah, they want to shut down it, so they don't want to fold.
Yeah. So are they planning on folding a hand like queen 9 or ace 3 or ace deuce for a big size on this turn?
Nope.
Right. This is why I think we can go big. And I think I like to see calibration mistakes versus logic-based mistakes, because calibration mistakes are really easy to fix. It's just let's get dialed in a little bit more about what's actually happening versus a logic-based mistake. I don't even know where to start, but I think calibration mistake, really easy to fix. And I think he just made a simple calibration error here. I think they have a little bit more ace-x, and I think they're a little bit more inelastic than maybe we thought on this turn. That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. River, walk me through it.
So what we have on this river, they are capped to weak a6. Like we said, a6, ace deuce, or some 9x, 7x. Here, can we get a range fold? How much would I value a6? a6. Maybe we can go 300, 350 to value an a6, and they have almost no two pairs. So I think we can just go all in, and there's almost no brick wall on this river.
Boom. Perfect. I always like to say, if we can't really run into a brick wall, we don't need to be efficient with our bluff sizing, right? And I think this is one of those spots where we're just almost never going to run into a brick wall. So I love your sizing here on this river. I think this was really well done. We get the fold. All right, we're halfway through them. You're doing well. So we have 10-9 of diamonds. We're going to open, and big blind is going to call.
So we're against a fish on a wet, dynamic, wetish board in 20 SPR with air. The default is to bet half pot. I see no reason here to deviate from the default.
Cool.
They are going to start uncap them by raising strong stuff and call with weak stuff. Once they call, they are capped to weak pairs, draws, and some ace high. When they check on this turn, we on this one linear turn, we're improving to high equity draw. Here, I think the option of betting small to keep capping them is interesting, because I feel very confident after they call, bluffing them on the river. Plus, if they raise, we have room to call a raise.
Good. I really like your decision here to go small. And I think this is, I just keep testing you. I don't know if you noticed this. I just keep trying to get you to choose the in-between size. And you're doing really well committing to either the small size or the big size. That's kind of why we built these hands for you. So I like that you chose the small size here. Reason why I think the small size is good is, like you said, we get them to raise when they do have a straight here. And also the nice benefit of the small size is we keep their range kind of wide and weak getting to the river.
So now once they call, their range is capped to 7x, weak pairs, a few draws. Now we are making flush on a straightening board. Do we wanna target? We wanna target 8x, but we want them to raise, I guess. But is an 8x gonna raise? If an 8x is not gonna raise, I will bet directly big myself. Against my pool, it's they are not gonna raise often. On the river, they are just gonna call because they think it's gonna split. So I think I would just go big, like the 350 size here.
Good. I gave you a little extra time because we're on the river. So very, very good. Like your thought process here. And again, I'm trying to force you to choose these in-between sizes, and you're not taking the bait. If you notice, almost every turn in river, I'm forcing you to pick.
That's great. The improvement has started then.
Yeah, you're doing really well. And more importantly, your thoughts behind why you're choosing the action are really good. Okay, ace jack here in the hijack. We are going to open.
I feel the pressure. I feel I'm sweating.
Yeah, well, it's hard. You got 30 seconds.
Yeah. So that's a single raise spot against a fish in a 25 SPR on a monotone, static, wet board with high equity draw and nut flush poker. On this board, I'm gonna bet half spot to induce them raising strong stuff and calling the weak stuff. No reason to deviate here.
Beautiful repeatable thought process there on the flop, just making sure you hit the basics.
The only hands they may slow play here are the nuts flush, because they are not scared of being counterfeit, but we have the ace high flush blocker. So once we arrive on this turn, they really have no slow plays. So I think we can consider betting a big size to get a lot of folds with the ace club. So I would consider over betting. Now, what do I want to do? Do I want to go the 175 size or the 350? I think I really want to use the hammer and the 350 size because I have the blocker and get everything to fold.
I gave you a little more time. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The reason why I like this really, really big size here is because we start off really, really deep. And I think this is one of those rare spots where we may be able to get their range to fold by the river. Like you said, if they fast play their flushes on the flop, the flush that they don't fast play is the ace X of clubs, which we have the ace of clubs. So they just don't have any slow plays here, really. And so I think we can just get a range fold by the river. Because if they raise their small flushes, if they raise pocket sevens, pocket deuces, whatever, the best hand they're going to have here, maybe a hand like queen nine. And I think we can get a hand like queen nine to fold. I may be optimistic, but when we're this deep, I think we can get everything to fold. So I really like your overbet here on this turn.
We'll need a very big hammer by the river, but we are deep enough. One. Yeah, we have it.
Yeah.
And the river is a brick, what we wanted to press the hammer. So now, yes, the best hand indeed is Queen 9. How much would I value Queen 9 here? I think I could value it around a little overbet, like 900, 1000, and since there is no brick wall, then we can just put them all in to put maximum pressure and almost get range fold.
Beautiful.
I really like it because that's the kind of situation where I'm not yet able to press the trigger in real situations. So that's so great.
What do you think is preventing you from pressing the trigger? Is it like the confidence in the spot? Like what's going on in your head here? Like, cause like we're trying to recreate this moment. What do you feel?
I think maybe it's related to like my objectives where I just want to build my project and be ready for next year and have all the money I need to start my project. So like pushing the trigger and risking to lose my whole stack when it's a lot like this, I feel very squeamish doing it. But at the same time, if it's the most easy decision, then by not doing it, I'm actually kind of losing money.
Yeah, because it's like it's one of those short-term things where when we were first starting out, we had a player in the stable. He was the biggest nit in the world, right? At first, not saying you're a nit, but he was a giant nit, would not pull the trigger, went way too small with value, and eventually I just told him, listen, man, we're on an airplane. I can't push you out of the plane and make you skydive. At some point, you're either going to have to make the jump or you don't make the jump and we just land the plane and get off. And so eventually he just said, screw it, I'm going to make the jump and see what happens. And he had this fear that he was going to lose all his money, even though he was playing with our bankroll, right? He had this fear that he's just going to lose his money and it's not going to work out. And what eventually happened for this particular player is his session to session swings went up. He would have sessions where he lost 3, 4, 5K, which had never happened to him before. But over the course of, I believe, 16, 17, 18 months in the stable, he never had a losing month. Not once. Not once did he have a losing month because he was playing 150, 160 hours a month. And even though he had wild swings in his sessions over the course of 150, 200 hours, he didn't have any swings because his win rate went up to a point where it was almost impossible for him to lose because he's winning 16, 17 big blinds an hour, right? So like if we can reframe this in some way, like, hey, if my win rate goes from 40 or 50 euros an hour to 90 or 100 euros an hour, maybe it's worth those session to session swings, right?
Yes. Yeah, I completely understand. I just have to take the jump.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so we're gonna ISO with Jack 10 of clubs here over.
Just thinking of the size, but when he limps that early, I think I wanna go big and I go for the $60 size.
Good, I like it.
So we're against a fish on in a 15 SPR on the top pair board, static wet with a high equity draw. The default is to bet half pot to induce him raising his strong stuff and call weak stuff. There's no reason to deviate here, so I'm gonna bet 60.
Good.
If he calls, he's gonna be capped to one pair hand, some ace high, and maybe sometimes some backdoors.
I would say here my one little nitpick on the flop, two things. One, I think maybe why 60 was the option is sometimes like when the pot's a little bit bigger because we did ISO over a limp, like it's maybe a little closer to a 3-bet pot than a single raise pot. So like we probably want to size down a little from half pot just because the absolute size is bigger. And I will say number two, like again, a calibration thing. I do think even when we bet small here on the flop, I think they can sometimes trap with a queen, right? Not all the time. They'll raise their queen a lot of the time, but like sometimes they can have a trap here. Just probably a little bit more than if the board is Jack 9 deuce, right? If it's queen, queen 5. Okay, here you go.
Our high equity draw improved to a combo draw on this blank turn. So what do we want to do here? I think we want to keep betting small to keep dragging a weak range like pocket 8 and e5 and induce them raising the queens they would have just called on the flop, and we need to go quite small. So I think 80 into 55 is a very good size. If we start going a little bit more, we're gonna start losing weak hands.
That was beautiful. I can't get you, man. It seems to be clicking for you, which is awesome. I think this is a spot where you may have gone with a big size before. Walk me through this river.
So once we make a jack, we are pretty sure we have the best hand. So now we wanna thin value and target hands as weak as pocket 8, pocket 7. How much would I bet to get these hands to fold? Like 200 already they fold. So we wanna go very small. Like I say 135, but I could even go like 110, 115 here to be sure.
Good, very good. I'm trying to get you to choose these in between sizes and you're not biting. You're doing awesome, man. You're doing really, really good.
Thank you.
Hopefully this is helping just to like drill these spots over and over.
Yep. I think that's the solution, because like the playing for all the money, starting to do it a little bit more and more, but because I keep practicing like this with a hand trainer, with other HHP, like drilling together really helps, and it's free.
Yeah, you've had a really good thought process so far. I'm impressed.
That's a very great compliment. It's not easy to impress you.
I appreciate that you've taken the feedback and like you're incorporating it very, very quickly. So we could call by the button.
Win a single race spot out of position against a fish in a 20 SPR on a dynamic dredge board with showdown value. The default is to check and let them overstab and telegraph hand strength. I have no reason to deviate here out of position.
Good.
With showdown value, the plan on a small size like this is just to call and see what they do on the turn and proceed cautiously, and knowing they under double and triple barrel. If they keep aggressing us until the river, I will just give them credit and give it up.
Cool.
No reason to do anything else than checking on the turn.
Good.
Very interesting. Once they bet 50 again, I feel they have a weak hand that we can get to fold by the river. And I will take the bluff right now because some of the range is beating us. So I want to drag a weak range to the river that I feel confident bluffing, like pocket 8s, pocket 7, a 9x. If I raise to 50, I may get it to fold. So I will raise 150. I didn't pick the good size.
This is a nitpick here. Like, I could go either way. I think your thought process was really good here. I'm not even going to fault you for going 150 because, like, recognizing that their range is weak here and just getting them to call all the time, I could be convinced that 150 may even be better here. I like that you pounced here on the turn, and I like that you deviated from your flop thought process of, oh, I'm just going to fold a lot if they double barrel. Once they choose a small size, you're like, oh, shit, like, they just never have a strong hand here. I could just win this pot 100% of the time. I really like the way you thought through this turn. Like, I think, like, this is going to be pocket 7s, pocket 8s, 9x, like, all the time. And I really like the raise here. This is a spot where, in-game, you just decided to check call. And then the river went check, check. And remember, you lost to king 8.
Yep, exactly. Finally, our premium. Second premium, we already have aces.
Yeah, you got aces. What are you complaining about?
Breakout rooms are also great because we have such a nice run. Always have good hands.
Yeah, it would be boring if you didn't.
Yeah. So that's a single race spot against the fish in a 22 SPR on a wet dynamic normal boy flop. We have a thick value. On this flop, I could consider deviating because I unblock all the draws and the jack X. So here, I think I would like to go bigger to target the inelastic stuff and just make a bigger pot against this stuff. So I would go 100.
I'm not going to fight you there. I mean, I would go 50, but I know you got docked by the system here for overbetting, but I think that's a very reasonable decision there. So let's continue to the turn, assuming we went 50 on the flop.
Yeah. Once they call, the range is capped to weak jack X, weak pairs, draws. This turn, which brings another flush draw, is and a completing straight. Also brings some combo draws, sometimes like 4-5, 4-6. What do I want to do? I think I want to overbet to target jack X and flush draws here. So I go for 300.
Good. Don't be scared of 5-6. If they have 5-6, whatever, we lose. It's okay.
And they may even raise us on the turn and we may be able to find a fold because of all the draws. Now, once they call, the range is jack X and miss draws. So how much would I bet to get jack X to fold? When everything misses, I'd have to bet a lot to overbet. Against my pool, I necessarily wouldn't go all in. I think I could go like 800, 900-ish. But here against the American pool, there's a lot of value to get. So I go all in and take all the stack.
Good. I love it. He's really tanking. And he calls. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. So, what do you think overall? Was today helpful?
Yes. Very. Just the fact of being picked for this video, preparing my hands, and just going through this process with you, it's always giving me, a lot of confidence just to be there. And then the bonus of you analyzing my hands, giving me the feedback and making me practice like this, it's really priceless. So indeed, it's giving me a lot of confidence and for the future and for my project. So that's great. I feel really pumped. That's a big opportunity and chance for me to be there with you.
I'm gonna tell you what, you're pretty damn good at poker, man. I think you're gonna crush, man. I think you're gonna do quite well, and that win rate. If I was to guess, if you keep making this type of progress, I think that win rate's gonna come way up, especially as you play in softer pools in the U.S. market. I think you're gonna do really well. I think you got a bright future in poker, and yeah, I wish you the best of success on not just poker, but all the other projects as well.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, once again, if you want to work directly with us, you want to break down the biggest weaknesses in your own game, have an actionable game plan you can take to the table within just a few days. That's what we work on in our 5-day small group coaching program. It is called Basecamp. If you're interested in working with us, check it out. We'd love to welcome you in. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video and it turns you into the biggest boy possible. Thank you guys and have a gentle day.